Hey guys, Nick Drossos, and welcome to another episode of Have the Balls to Talk About It. Dr. Steinberg couldn't make it today, guys, so I'm here with Joseph Mardini from Remax Action.
Thank you for having me, Nick.
Joseph, thank you for coming on the show. And we're going to talk about a little bit about real estate, about kind of buying your own home, buying your first home, especially in a market like this today. So I want to talk a little about, because you have something very interesting, like a new platform you were talking to me about. But first, I want to talk a little bit about the real estate market today. Like, let's talk about Canada, because this is,
Sure.
and it seems like it's like houses are overpriced. I know people who bought homes technically couldn't really afford them. The interest rates went from 2 up to 6 and maybe are going to go higher. So help us learn and know a little bit more about where are we right now in the market?
So right now, the real estate right now it's been quite crazy. No one really knows what's going to happen. No one knows what they're saying. No one knows what they're going to be predicting. No one has the correct answer to that question. But what's happening, what we're seeing out there is the prices are increasing really high. Several reasons. First of all, the pandemic that happened, we just went through it, but also the prices of construction. The price of construction. So like people tend to forget that, when you're building a home or a townhouse or a tower, right? You need raw materials, and those raw materials are costing a lot of money, and the prices only increase with that. So that didn't help the market.
But
today.
I have a question. The increase during COVID, COVID's over.
Yeah.
Have the prices stayed the same or did they go down?
No, they actually stayed the same, and if anything, they actually increased.
Wow. So okay.
So the cost actually increased for construction. So the shipping cost increased, everything just increased. And what happened is that it stayed the same. It never dropped down.
Okay.
You remember those gas prices that we used to enjoy back in the day?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they increased and then they stabilized again, but the prices never went down. So same thing is happening right now with the construction. So I think that's one factor, the big factor actually, that's making it very hard for people to buy. But also at the same time, the interest rates.
Yeah.
So the interest rates are crazy right now.
They went from 2.
They went down to 1.60. I remember I bought my house at 164.
Wow.
Fixed for 5 years. Now they're up to 6, even close to 7.
But what happens in that case that people who bought it at 1, like financially, like?
I mean, a lot of people are over leveraged at the end of the day, and that's honestly the scary part. Okay, people don't. They say they can. They say they can afford it today, but what I'm worried about is, can they afford it tomorrow?
Yeah.
And I don't think that people are doing the right math or calculation on over leveraging.
But doesn't the bank do that automatically for them?
So that's a good point, actually. So they do that. So the majority of people right now are having a hard time buying, not because of the interest rate or even the prices of the home. The bank, what it does something what we call a stress test. So a stress test is saying, Nick, for example, he's going to buy a home today. And they say, okay, interest rate is at 6%, hypothetically speaking. They say, okay, can Nick buy at 9.20%? That's actual factual number that they're using right now.
Oh, wow. Does that mean they're planning to go to there?
So what they're saying is that if it does go to there, can Nick still afford it?
Okay.
And that's where the issue is. Who can afford 9.20%? Unless if you're a multimillionaire and you have a ton of cash, then you wouldn't even take a mortgage.
But they calculate it as if you would go to 9.
They calculate as if it goes to 9.
So technically they give it to you based on 9 or based on 6?
They calculate it based on 9 if you can afford it. At 9. If you can afford it at 9, then they'll lend you the money. If you can't afford it at 9, then you can't buy. So what's happening, people are trying to buy their first homes. Forget about it. It's hard.
So
they're not going to...
I mean, I'm lucky enough. I bought my house 20 years ago. But I'm looking at the prices today, and I think of my son who's 15, and I'm thinking, how is he going to afford a home in 10 years if he wants to buy something?
The only way, in my opinion, and I'm in the same boat right now, and the only way I see it is if we buy it for them.
Yeah.
If we buy it for them, we mortgage for 25 years, amortize it for 25 years, and one day we give it to them.
So I found out something. I'm not sure if it was you who told me, or I don't know who. In the U.S., when you get a mortgage for 25, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing. But they lock it for 30 years.
Doesn't that make more sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Than what we do here?
100%.
So why don't we do it here?
Oh, that's a good question for the Bank of Canada. I have no idea why they don't do it that way. I have no idea.
because okay, this is
You know what to expect for the next
for
25, 30 years.
Yeah,
You know?
and whoever gets lucky pays it lower or whatever it is.
But today, even your son, my daughter. I mean, good luck. We've seen during COVID, and it was an article that was published actually, parents giving lump sum cash to their kids as donations because they can't afford the down payment, and that's what we're in right now, which is scary. Honestly, I don't know how the kids are gonna afford it one day.
Is the market is it the same in the U.S.? I think it's the same thing.
It's about the same thing in the U.S. right now.
Is it a global thing?
It's a global thing where inflation really hit everything, right? But I can't really talk about globally because I don't want to say wrong things.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, it's here to stay, even if the interest rates drop. Because at the end of the day, people are always forgetting one important factor. I'm going to repeat it. It's even if the interest rates drop, but the construction cost did not.
It's true.
And the lack of land where you're going to build.
Yeah.
There's no more land. And now when there's land, what do? They're not going to build you that one house.
Yeah.
They're not. They're going to build you that tower.
Yeah, it's true. Good
You know,
point.
let's go vertical. Why are we going to go horizontal?
Yeah.
Profits on vertical. So that's where, I'm sorry.
So
but
can
we're screwed.
you still make money off real estate then? Or do you have to have a big capital and a lot of money to make money off real estate?
Today's market?
Yeah.
100%. You can't. At 7% interest rate, nothing adds up unless if you're putting a 50% down payment.
Yeah.
Because the numbers don't add up. Because don't forget, we also have regulations, right? With the Régie de Logement, you can't increase the rent. It's controlled rent. So it's like, your mortgage is $5,000 for your building, but the individuals pay $500, right? For the rent. And you can't increase him. You can't kick him out. What do you do?
It's true, huh?
So that's where, it's you're going to buy a piece of real estate right now. I'm not telling people not to buy, but if you're buying the real estate right now, it's a long-term play.
Yeah.
So you're buying it today because you're probably going to get a better price because not all people are buying right now. So you'll be able to negotiate a bit. But you're going to buy it and you're going to hold it for a long time. You're going to hold it for 10, 15 years. And you know what? The numbers are going to counterbalance itself.
Yeah.
It's just in the short term, you're going to be in negative.
Yeah.
You know, my dad and my grandfather used to always tell me this. Your real estate will get sick, but it'll never die.
Yeah. Good point. That's a
Right?
good one. Yeah.
So it's one commodity that's protected from everything, right? Inflation. What do people do? Put your money not in the bank, in the real estate. You know, I was just actually having that call with someone today, and they're telling me, Joe, so the U.S. apparently since 2020 printed 80% more money than they ever have in the history of printing money.
Wow.
Which tells you what? Inflation is bound to.
Yeah.
Money is scary. People have cash. What are they going to do with it?
Good point.
What do? Commodities, real estate. Those are your two options.
You have an interesting platform, and I love that concept you were saying, where if I have $100,000 and somebody else has $100,000, so how does this work? Because I think it's a very unique, and it made. I was talking to a friend about it, a friend of mine about it, who has money but doesn't have enough money to put a down payment on a house. And when I told him the concept, he was like, "Wow, that's actually pretty good." So I'll let you explain it because I think it's interesting.
Yeah, sure. So a lot of the times we're finding clients and then they're just short of a bit, right? Of money. So there's a platform we came across and it's called Investium.ai. And Investium.ai.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's actually a pretty cool concept that they started. And it's a platform, let's say, people come in there, they meet each other to invest in real estate together. So let's say, for example, Nick, you have 100K.
Yeah.
You want to buy something, you're short. I have 100K. I want to buy something, I'm short. What this platform does, it's pretty much introducing us together. And they're saying, Nick, Joe, you can meet each other through this platform. And you didn't know I was in the same situation as you.
Yeah.
But through that platform, you get to meet. It's a secure, friendly way to meet somebody.
So it's all by chat.
It's all by chat. And you pick up the phone. You can even create yourself your own groups inside. You can say, hey, guys, I have this project I have in mind. I want to raise this much capital. What do you guys think? Join my group, for example. So it's pretty much a platform that brings people together that want to invest in real estate. And the cool thing about it is that, you know, it could be for the starters. That's the thing I found nice about it, is that it could be for the first-time home buyer that's looking to buy a duplex. You know, He lives on one floor. The other person lives on the second floor.
It's crazy because I've seen it with the people that I know that have money but don't have enough to buy, let's say, like a duplex in Ville Saint Laurent is almost $1 million, 800,000.
Well, there you go.
They don't have enough money, but they also fed up with paying rent and being kicked out. And where they're like, if I could find somebody, then you could buy a building. I think that's an amazing concept.
Yeah, because it goes both ways. So we were reading articles. I was reading an article in Toronto. So in Toronto, they're throwing parties of random people to get to meet each other to see if they match in their investments to buy real estate. So this platform, what it does, it brings everybody together and saying, hey guys, I'm here. I'm looking to buy something. I'm here. I'm looking to buy something too. And it connects them together, which is pretty cool because at the end of the day, forget the first time buyers. Even someone like us, for example, we have real estate. We have a nice portfolio. But at a certain point, you get into a cap where you can't go, right?
You can't. Yeah.
So you want to find these people that are the same mindset as you are. And that website, that platform actually helps you do that.
But is it all like, so like they call each other, they meet?
So you go
they
online.
They have to show their papers?
No. So it's pretty cool because I actually signed up on it. Okay. So I wanted to check it out and I actually signed up on it. And funny is I actually saw a few people I know.
No way.
Yeah, I saw a few people I know on it. And I'm like, I picked up the phone and I'm like, well, because I know them. I'm like, I picked up the phone. I'm like, I didn't know you were looking. So it's
crazy.
Pretty,
Because sometimes people won't say it.
They won't
never
say
know.
it, right?
Opportunity might be there and you've never just
exactly.
asked.
And I'm like, wow, you're on it? I'm like, okay, cool. So pretty much you just sign up. It's free. And you say what your objectives are, what your goals are, what you'd like. And they do like verification. So they do verification through your cell phone. So it's pretty secure.
Yeah.
You sign up, you do your profile, it's like a dating website. At the end of the day, it's
for
like
real estate.
But for real estate, right? So you sign up and then you start clicking and chatting with people. And there's there's even like a thread where you can chat, blogs on there and stuff like that.
Cool.
So you can pretty much shoot the shit.
Is it like around the world, this thing?
So it started in Montreal. It's in Quebec now.
Way.
Yeah, it's in Quebec now, and it's slowly gonna start. We're seeing they're seeing people going from
shit. I want a house
Toronto.
in Greece, man.
Yeah, there you go. You know what I mean?
Like anybody in Greece?
Yeah, it's exactly. But I saw somebody in there from the States. I saw somebody from Europe. So even people who are expats, from outside, right? Right now, there are the new regulations, right? If you're non-Canadian, you can't buy for 2 years.
Regulations now.
Oh my God!
Did they just change them? Or this new?
So it started this year. It's good for 2 years. So they're holding off anybody who does not have a Canadian passport or was not born in Canada. They cannot buy real estate here in Quebec. Well, in Canada.
Before they could. Was that
before they could?
Because I heard it was bad for the market that they could because it brought up the prices.
It depends on the way you look at it. Honestly, because at the end of the day, we need money.
Yeah, good point.
We need the economy to keep on working. And you can't just think that the economy from within is going to grow an economy.
Yeah, good point.
We need outside resources at the end of the day. Sure, maybe it was a bit too much, but still at the end of the day, you do need that money because you want people to come spend the money. Imagine, look at Dubai.
Yeah,
but you walk in with a briefcase of $1 million through the security check at the airport, we're like, welcome.
Yeah.
We'll give you even a visa, That's
true, huh?
It's like, come, we'll give you the golden visa if you spend even more. So it depends the way you look at it. But these rules, pretty much it's very straightforward, is that you're non-Canadian, you don't have a Canadian passport, you're not born in Canada, you don't have a birth certificate, you can't buy. And it's pretty much on hold for 2 years. So a lot of people I recognized on the website because that's what I do, right? In real estate. Yeah. So you're always trying to find new clients. You're trying to see how can you network, right? Yeah. And a lot of people are actually going there to try and see how can they invest here in Canada through forming a corporation, for example. Because at the end of the day, through a corporation, a certain percentage of the corporation has to be a Canadian resident. Yeah. The rest doesn't. So that's the way they're trying to find a way into the market, into the Canadian market. And so that's pretty much what the website does. I think it's great. I mean, I definitely started using it myself.
I think it's great to give people opportunity. I mean, and I think for, as a dad and for men, there's this pressure. We want to have a home and a house for our family. Like that's security. 100%. I find every man I know is like, they want their home and they're willing they're willing to go to debt for it just to have that, which I don't always think is always the best idea. I believe living within your means is also important
100%,
and not like
100%.
buying something you can't afford. But I see, like, from a man's perspective, when you have a family, you want to be able to provide that for
See, they always say like the biggest purchase in your life is what? Your home.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the real estate, right? It's your home. But at the end of the day, you know what?
It's also necessary to a certain extent.
To a certain extent. But I always say that people don't over leverage yourself. Honestly, like I tell this to clients all the time. It's a rat race out there, right? Like forget what other people think.
Trying to keep up with the Joneses, buying the big houses.
Man, you don't need that. You don't need all that to be happy. Yes, you need a roof on top of your head, but you know what? Start small. Start small. Start smart. So I always say, I use this analogy that when you're buying, and I tell this to my clients all the time, when you're buying real estate, the important thing is to create that foundation. You create that strong foundation, the building's going to go up straight. You start with a weak foundation, you're over leveraged, you don't know how you're going to pay your next month's mortgage bill, then that building's going to go quite crooked, quite fast, and it's just going to fall.
Good point.
So at the end of the day, you want to live happy, right? In your house?
Yeah.
That you're paying for it, right?
Yeah, there's no point.
You want to sleep at night.
And I see this with I see this with people who get married, and the wife wants the big house, and the guy's like, I can't really, he buys the big house, and then they can't go out on Saturday night, and then and having that financial stress is a huge factor in a relationship. I said, you know what, like you got to make choices in life, you know what I mean, and it's not worth it sometimes.
Nick, I've seen horror stories. I've seen people where they're purchasing, and at the end of the day, I'm like, you can't afford that.
Can't afford it, yeah.
Because it's just the basic math that it's a second nature for me, right? So it's like you make X, you want to buy this. No, that doesn't add up. Unless if you're not telling me something.
Yeah, that's
but
it.
you're that.
Or you could, but with the skin of your teeth,
like one little hiccup,
you can't order out on a Saturday night. And to me, that's not a way of living. You know what I mean?
Or you're eating McDonald's or eating pasta every day for the rest of your life. But that's where we're at the real estate. But it's always, I always say, it's the safest place to put your money because it's gonna get sick. It's fine. It's a cycle, and it's just knowing when to sell and when to buy.
So I'm gonna close this with this, right?
Yeah.
What is your advice to a 30-year-old male who has a little bit of money aside, to buy his first property? Should it be a house? Like I remember I bought my first property. I was 23. I bought an apartment building. I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy something. I'm going to get revenue. It was my first purchase. And I think it was the smart one to do. But what is if you're going to buy your first home, what advice do you have, at that young male watching? It's like, okay, I have some money. I'm ready to invest.
That's a good one because
it's kind of hard. Because it also depends what kind of life you have, what are your values, what's important to you.
First thing I would say to them is, number one, which I find is important and it's cliche, but actually do pick yourself a good broker. Someone who actually really cares and actually listen to you, and it's not just doing it because he wants that commission and he's going to F off and it's not going to talk to you again. So that number one is do your due diligence on that, pick the right person that you want to work with. Second of all is, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you buy. As long as you buy something and you have your foot in real estate. Because eventually it's not going to be your forever home. But you'll have something that's in real estate. And eventually it's going to grow and you're going to sell it and you're going to buy something else. And don't over leverage yourself. And forget the egos, put them on the side. And if you need to partner up with somebody, partner up with someone.
Start with that.
Start with that. Hey, as long as you structure it right, and you seek counsel to structure it right. Which funny part is that the website is actually going to start doing that now.
What's structuring it?
Not structuring it, but it's what's next. So they're going to pretty much add, hey, you guys, Nick and Joe, you got met each other on the website? Well, you can talk to this person, like a lawyer, notary.
Because that's the thing.
Because you don't know where you're going to go next,
and that's the scary part too, because I'm like, okay, how do I do this with this guy? Am I responsible for the mortgage? Is he responsible? If he doesn't pay, do I?
So pretty much they're going to introduce you to the right people for you to talk to, and they're going to set it up for you, But that's my advice is be smart about it. Pick the right people you're going to work with. And at the end of the day, have something in real estate. Because as long as you have it, it's not going to go anywhere. And it's not for your ever home. You sell it and you slowly upgrade yourself. You don't need the $2 million, $10 million house right away.
You build to that.
You build it slowly. Slow and steady always wins the race. So that's I think in a short, that's the best advice I can give. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's some awesome advice from like so many angles for anybody.
It's just because
who wants to get into real estate. And I think like, again, especially like, you know, for men, we want to be able to do that for our kids, you know
100%.
what I mean? For our family, for our wives, for our kids, for us to having that secure home, you know what I mean? So, Joseph, thank you for coming on. Me. Where can people find you?
So on Google, just simply Joseph Mardini Inc. It's they can always search me. It's very easy.
I'll put the web up. You have a website?
Yeah, I have a website. You can put my link on it and stuff like that.
Great. I'll put the website on the link. So guys,
and you should put the Investium because
I'll put the Investium because
honestly it's great.
Because I think it's awesome that if people are interested and they have enough money but they want to invest, I think the concept is amazing, and I'm pretty sure it's going to go global because the way things are shifting,
it's there.
I think we're there, and I'm pretty sure other markets are going to get into that because there's something there.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Have the Balls to Talk About It. I want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.